Greetings and salutations from the best coast of California. Tommy Danielsen here, and
This is John Ryan here in sunny Las Vegas.
it's on the West Coast too, right? We can say that Las Vegas is on the
Oh
West
yeah.
Coast. Cool, good times. So this is our third week in a row where we are taking a look and we're diving into all options for the four major chains of where to stay when you're redeeming your points visiting major cities around the world. We did last week, and we'll link in the description below. We had Paris, and the week before that, we had London last week, and then we had Paris the first week. So every Wednesday now, we're putting out these videos to talk a little bit about where to stay, what we recommend. So of course, we haven't stayed at all of these hotels. I mean, I found the Marriott class close to 100 hotels in London, which is a crazy number. But there are many hotels, many places we have stayed, but we're trying to make it in general more about which area to stay in and look at all the properties and some experiences we've had, because even if we haven't stayed at these hotels, John, a lot of people have, and we read about them.
Yep. Agreed. Flyer talk and Facebook groups that we run.
Yeah, no kidding. And also, it's on our FTU channel that you are watching right now. We have actually New York is the bit that we're covering today is by far the most viewed videos we have. We have over 100,000 views in the last month alone for people who have stayed at hotels in New York, which the Hyatt-centric Midtown and also the Hyatt Place of all places and the Thompson are big properties where a lot of people are interested in the views. So in New York, if we were to talk in general, people want to stay in Manhattan, right?
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, if you have family and whatnot in other boroughs, and maybe you'd want to stay there, but why would you otherwise?
Right. But there are, good neighborhoods of Brooklyn, good neighborhoods of Jersey City and Hoboken in New Jersey, both of those places in New Jersey, and also right across the Queensboro Bridge. There's a on 59th Street, and go across the bridge, and it's what is it called? That
Long Island City?
Who? What now?
Oh, I thought you were referring to Long Island City, where that Hyatt Place
Long
is,
Island City. You got it. That's exactly what I'm referring to. I actually ended up out there. What the hell kind of hotel was it? It was a last minute trip to New York, and it was like $700 to stay in Manhattan. So we ended up there, me and a couple of buddies of mine. Ended up at I don't remember what it was though, but it was a long time ago, back in like 2007. So I have stayed there. There's a pizza place around the corner that we, you could go and get a slice in the middle of the night. But we're going to focus a little bit. We're going to start with Hilton, and we'll see what they have to offer in New York. Obviously, this is going to be a longer video, and if you are, we're going to go through all four of the major chains. We're going to go through Hilton, we're going to go through Marriott, Hyatt, and IHG. And there are a lot of hotels in New York, but let's dive right into it, not waste any more time on that. We're starting with Hilton here, and the first one that pops up is something called Tempo by Hilton in Times Square. You heard of that place?
It's one of those brands that's relatively new. I think New York City is actually the first city to have this Hilton brand. So I need to kind of refresh my memory here on what it is. So it says, find your moment, and this, I'm just reading what the description of their kind of descriptions of the hotel. Find your moment in Times Square with an immersive New York City experience, from breathtaking city views on our outdoor terrace and restaurant. So what I can get off of that is it sounds like it's kind of wellness based, and that's what it says the brand is described as in the website.
So kale salad place, is that what you're talking about?
Most likely, yes. And are you familiar with Even Hotels with IHG?
No, I am not.
Okay, so Even Hotels, it's like gym stuff, like in your room. So they have like a resistance band hung up in the room.
Yeah, I've seen them with the Westin. They have Pelotons in some of the rooms.
Yeah,
and
same
also
thing.
Some Hyatts also have Pelotons in the rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost fell over one with the light off there, a Peloton bike that was in the way.
Oh.
I don't know why they put it in my room, but there you have it. All right, so as you can see, the premium. This is you could for those who are not familiar with the Hilton website. When it says premium room reward, that means that it's a higher rate. That means that a standard room is not available. While when it says a standard room reward, it's obviously the minimum redemption you can expect at this place. So And also, when you see that, for example, the home to suites here, they have opted out of putting the TripAdvisor rating on there, which is
Oh,
also not a good sign. The homes to suites in Times Square is actually a co-located property with the Hampton Inn, which gets a 3.5 out of 5. So Hampton Inn and Home to Suites are in the same building. I think they have the joint reception going on there, right? Like
yeah,
kind of
and also,
the fun.
oh, I was gonna say also too, if it's a premium room, it does mean that you can't use a free night cert there. So keep that in
Exactly.
mind.
Nor would you want to either when it's 67,000 points.
Yeah.
But looking at this, so as you can see, the Hampton Inns and the Home to Suites, would you spend an extra 13,000 points? I don't
If it
know.
has an extra bed, like if it's 3 beds, then maybe might be worth
Yeah,
it for
Home to
that.
Suites
But
is like a kitchenette and some other
yeah,
things. It's like a kind of like a residence inn, but not. But they got some extra things in the rooms, at least the ones that I've stayed at, and I've only had a couple of stays with those. So, but there's Times Square is not the area for me, to be honest with you. As you can see, there's a lot of rooms here. You got the Hilton Times Square, which is the big Hilton that's right there. You got that at 78,000. Don't remember if they have a club lounge, but because it's so long since I stay there, to be honest with you. Then you got the District Hotel, which is Tapestry Collection, 38,000 points, which is a great, a phenomenal. That hotel is actually pretty decent. It didn't used to be a Tapestry Collection; it was an independent hotel for a long time. So that's actually a decent gig at 38,000 points. So looking down here. You have the Hilton Midtown, which is the famous hotel where they host a lot of big events, like thousands of people. I think their main ballroom there holds like 5,000 people or something like that. Crazy number. And then you have the Halal Bros have their cart right outside that hotel as well, so you can go at 3 o'clock in the morning and get a shawarma. We are looking for. I'm looking for the Conrads here. I'm not seeing them. I'm going to go to the next page here. Uh, we've got Hilton
oh,
Club.
Waldorf's opening soon.
Yeah, it is opening soon. That should be interesting to see. It's probably going to be a massive price increase and also probably 120,000 points per night hotel. It'll be interesting to see. I'm definitely going to check it out when it's ready. The Martinique used to be a Radisson Blue back in the day,
Oh,
and they obviously left Radisson, and it's a very dusty hotel. It's not recommended. I think there are other hotels that are on the list that we're looking at here for sure. So it's the small luxury hotel. I mean, the wow, small luxury hotel at
that's low.
55,000 points per night. Do you mind googling the name of this hotel, John, and see what you get, what comes up for that?
Sure.
And then you've got some, yeah. So it seems that there's a lot of stuff. There's a Millennium Hilton, which is on the east side, close to United Nations. Um, Not a very inspiring property, to be honest with you, for sure. Then there's the Graduate you were talking about. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Graduate, that's located on Roosevelt Island. So Roosevelt Island is located halfway between Manhattan and Queens. It's kind of like more private, I would say, than just like regular Manhattan. So if you kind of want like to be away from New York City, but at the same time like, within a stone's throw, it's definitely a solid option.
So definitely, also 58,000 is a premium room reward. So and also see another small luxury hotel at 68,000. Kind of surprises me because those are usually high up there.
Oh, here's a Conrad you're referring to.
That's the one downtown that used to be an Embassy Suites. It is interesting that they redid this hotel a lot, and they have like an all suite type of a setup there. So 90,000 is a standard reward. So it's also it's downtown, which is maybe not the most desirable area to be in New York. All right, moving out to another downtown hotel, 79,000. It's a premium view hotel at the premium room rewards downtown at the Hilton Garden Inn, the Financial Center. I think that's a fairly new hotel. Okay, so then you got Brooklyn, also a premium room reward. There is another Brooklyn property, which is a
That's
True by
high.
Hilton. And here we're seeing lots of Hampton Inns and things like that. So we're kind of outside of the city for sure. That's what Hilton would have to do. So there's a lot of options here. I kind of a midtown type of guy where I stay when I'm visiting New York, maybe Chelsea, down at that area. Is kind of where I try to want to stay. I'm not a big fan of staying in Times Square, and downtown to me is like a hike for all the restaurants and places I usually go. But lots of good options here. Moving on to Marriott, we are going to start with So the currency here is obviously a little bit different. The courtyard, there are lots of courtyards and things like that. Obviously, we're starting off with 49,000, and as you can see, it's $131 a night, which isn't a good redemption. You also have the Algonquin, which is pretty dusty and definitely not a favorite of mine, with 52,000 points per night. Then you've got a Spring Hill Suites, also not worth it. You see 134, and the Fairfield Inn 126. The Residence Inn in Times Square is $199 for 52. I guess it's borderline, but not really. And there's the Times Square Courtyard for $158 and stuff like that. The Lexington, also very dusty and old. It says Midtown Manhattan Luxury Hotel, my ass. That's a big fat lie. Then you've got the Westin Grand Central. I haven't stayed there. It's just not getting good reviews, and I've heard that about it. The Times Square edition is kind of interesting that you have an edition for 70,000 points per night, $295 US. The W New York is the one in Times Square. I've stayed there a couple of times. Definitely getting on the older side, and it's been a while since I stayed there for sure. But $190 for a W. Wow, that's kind of
Yeah.
Okay, so then we got a first point saver on the list is Midtown East, the Residence Inn. A lot of uninspiring properties here, and uninspiring, nothing special sticking out here so far. Here's one of the couple of big ones, right? So you have the Marriott Marquis. A lot of Marriott members love that place. It is a massive monstrosity of a hotel, crapload of rooms, and you don't expect any upgrades or anything like that. There is a club lounge though, and people are very happy with it. It's, for some reason, it's like the JW Grosvenor we talked about in London. It's the same type of stuff. It might be I'm missing something, but it's in the middle of Times Square, and for me, it's chaotic and huge and very messy, and I'm not I don't appreciate it. So it's definitely a no for me. But as you can see, there's good redemption with 59,000 for $300. And bear in mind, I have my Marriott account set for having taxes and fees included, so this is an all-inclusive price. Renaissance New York is right next to, very close to that, the Marquis that we just saw. It's more points. It's better hotel, I would say. Haven't stayed at any of these.
$108.
The Westin Times Square, we had a Megadoo event at the Westin Times Square. They have a really nice club lounge there. Not sure if they still have that. Do you know?
No, I'm not aware of that.
You were
I
saying?
could look it up. Oh, I was also a little bit above. I saw the Spring Hill Suites was $108.
Wow.
Two hotels. That's pretty low.
That is pretty wild. Yeah, no kidding. So you can go to New York for less than $100 plus.
Yeah.
And then here we have the Le Meridien on Fifth Avenue. Haven't stayed at that one, to be honest with you. That must be fairly new. Have you heard of anything about that? $195, and it's luxury. They're very loosely, as usual with Marriott, they loosely use the word luxury. You've got more like cookie cutter stuff going on here, tons of them, and then you've got the first inspiring hotel in New York, which is St. Regis, the original St. Regis, the first one there was. You have the Nat King Cole Bar or whatever it's called, where they made the first. What did they make the first drink there? First Manhattan, first gin tonic, whatever.
I don't drink.
Pardon?
I don't drink.
Of course not. You're 17. Soon to be 18. Great redemption. As you can see, you can use your 85,000 cert that comes with the Ritz-Carlton credit card, or the what's the name of the top Marriott card?
Brilliant.
Brilliant card, yeah. That gives you 85,000, so you got to cough up another 9K, but for 975 bucks a day night, that's really a winner. Got a nice butler service, and it's a nice hotel, definitely enjoyable. Sheraton Times Square, as you can see from
3.4.
the 3.4, yeah, it's a terrible place. Jamie has a review of that one on the channel. Check it out and stay away. Rooms are tiny, noisy as hell. Last time I stayed there, they were drilling like in concrete, like a big one of those. What do they call the ones that they brrr, like the
Jackhammer? Or?
jackhammer? There you go, right
Okay.
outside the window, and I was on like the 30th floor or something. I still heard it like it was in the room next to me. So I don't think they've done anything with it. And 3.4, that is a pretty bad rating here. The Delta Hotel is newer, but it's getting also a poor rating for sure. And it's higher up there. So then you've got the new Ritz-Carlton, the Nomad location. I think that's supposed to be, no, wait a minute. That's not new. It's like kind of downtown, right?
Believe so.
Not 100% sure about that one. 96,845, absolutely worth the redemption, but the St. Regis was cheaper. I would rather stay there than to stay down there, to be honest with you. We've got the Luxury Collection Hotel Manhattan Midtown. That's a brand new hotel. I haven't heard of that before. Looks like it's 82,000 or $341. I think I'm leaning towards paying $341 there.
Yeah.
We hop over everything called Moxie. There's too many things that cost about the same. So I'd rather do a hotel that has breakfast included and other things like that than Moxie. Looking for, wow, that's page one. You got 6 pages here. This is crazy. How many hotels do they have in New York?
215. Wow.
Right. And then you got the Le Meridien Central Park, 56,000. It's getting a 3.3. So, whoa, Marriott. And then you got the Ritz-Carlton, New York, the one that's on the park, very nice view and stuff like that. 102,000, so you can't use the cert for that. And it's also 1,465 a night. St. Regis is a better option for sure. And then you got the JW Essex House. I think they've done a lot. They have a club lounge on the ground floor. They have a close friend of mine who used to work there, and he told me the secret. How much they have to pay the unions to clean the suites. So they are very, 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 very careful of giving upgrades around there. I think they've redone that hotel. So definitely a great location, and I have no issue staying there. It's definitely not a gross wiener. The New York edition, wow, that's a good redemption, I would say. It's definitely getting good reviews. I've heard good things about it. I haven't stayed myself, but 63,000 is definitely a good redemption for $580. I would say that's the biggest find here if you wanted something a little bit special. The Moore member of Design Hotels, let's skip over that because we know that they got a kind of a cool room here with a balcony outside, which you probably won't get that upgrade. But Design Hotels don't have any benefits. No members get any breakfast or any benefits at all. So the W New York, the one in Union Square, pretty old hotel, been there for a long time. As you can see, all of these are fading past glories that have gone downhill. 3.8 is not a good rating, and as you can see, also the pricing for redemption it makes it less attractive. Yeah, it's fun that they have this picture of the rooftop bar that's there you have to kind of go through a little bit more to get into how the rooms are.
Yikes.
Wow.
That's a shoebox.
Is there room to get through to past the bed there? I don't know. It looks kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
But as expected, I would skip it. So many other options here. Then we're moving on to Queens here. As you can see, we're outside of the city. And since they do the geographical thing, we are now outside the city. So we can just stop here.
Are there some downtown? They might. Not
Yeah,
be
we were downtown for sure. We saw the Ritz-Carlton is downtown. So I think we passed them. Or Manhattan Soho Village. There's the Boken, 34,000. Long Island City, we talked about 21,600 points. That's a decent redemption. You got a Lincoln Harbor one, which is about in Weehawken for 34,000. Lower East Side, 53. I guess we still have something. And then you got a Tribeca Sheridan.
$95.
The Tribeca Sheridans, I've heard, kind of sucks. 3.9, 95 a night. Look at that. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
cheapest
so
one we've
low.
found for. Yeah, it's March in New York seems to be a good deal. There's the W in the Boken,
Oh yeah.
35.2 for a $300 a night hotel.
Wow.
That's a good redemption.
Hmm.
And as you know, if you are not familiar with the Boken or Hoboken, it is one stop from Manhattan on the Path line. Was that what you said?
Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's one in Billyburg. Not sure I know about that. There's a Moxie, New York City downtown. I think I would rather stay at the in the Boken than I would stay at the Moxie downtown.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got Jersey City Courtyard for 31K. Yeah, a lot of things here. There's the Marriott downtown,
That's a good
$558.
redemption.
Yeah, for that particular night. I think that's just they probably have a big group there that night or something like that, and they made a boo boo
Mhm.
on the thing here. And then you have the Westin Jersey City. It's a solid hotel. It's close to your favorite hotel, the Hyatt Regency Jersey City, and that kind of stuff. All right, so we are going to move over to Hyatt, and there weren't any changes this year. So this video is made and it'll be published in March of 2025. And there weren't any changes to redemptions in New York.
You
The
know,
every
they did
Go ahead.
change the Hyatt Place in Long Island City,
Ooh,
but
what
like a
did it
three
go
to a
to from a one
four.
to a two?
I think 3 to a 4, which is kind of insane.
Three to a four, huh? But it's you can still use your cert there. I think that off season in New York is not an expensive place to be honest with you. If you start at the top with the Ondas Fifth Avenue, which is Category 7, it's 446 a night, 30,000 points. And this includes all the BS fees, but it doesn't include taxes with the Hyatt website. So, how should I like that hotel. They've always upgraded me, to be honest with you. I like it a lot. It's a great location. I love the bakery around the corner. I love the library being straight in front of you. It's a great location, and I walk from there to everywhere I like to be. Is it worth a Category 7? I don't know. What do you think?
Uh, Not really. I don't know.
Yeah. The centric Midtown is Jamie stays there a lot, and he keeps going back. It gets good reviews, and as you can see, it's a Category 6, but it's $176 a night for the best available rate for Hyatt. This is the same night we're talking about here as the Marriott one. And the Hilton one. These are all for next Sunday for one night. Then you've got the Thompson Central Park, which all of these hotels we have a review on our channel. I'll link the description below. But as you can see, the Thompson Central Park is 21,000 points per night as a Category 6. Definitely worth it. The breakfast is great. You can get it delivered as room service. And as you can see, 21,000 versus 431,000 before, so for $431 before taxes. And taxes in New York is a little bit high, so it is close to $500. That's a good redemption, right?
Yeah, and also too, doesn't that hotel have something weird with upper stories? It's like they have a new club. There's some weird thing with that.
What?
Upper,
A club?
there's something called upper stories at that hotel.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, upper stories Thompson Central Park. So it's kind of a club lounge thing that's on the top of their hotel. Globalists don't get access, but it's an extra like $100 to $200 for your stay to access it.
Per stay or per night?
It says on Reddit per stay.
Okay. Let's take a peek at that. That's piqued my interest a little bit. Sorry to be a little bit off topic, but we'll open that for later. We'll do a little maybe story on that later. We got the Centric Times Square. Jamie also has a review from that one. I think he prefers the other one. When it comes to the Park Hyatt New York, it is obviously a luxury hotel, good location, and it's a Category 8. 35,000 points for the nights we're talking about here, which is north of $1,000 plus tax. So that's hefty. So we don't have a review on that one. I don't know if Jamie's ever stayed. I haven't stayed there. I just haven't. When I go to New York, because I live in California now, Melinda and I used to go to New York all the time, like multiple times a year when we lived in Chicago. It's just a long flight, so I go to New York a couple times a year, but only for work. So I go in and out, and haven't found a reason to stay at the Park Hyatt. But I want to do a review on it, so we'll see if we can get to that. All right, the Grayson. Have you heard anything about that? I
I think, yeah, I forgot who I heard it from, but yeah, I was supposed to stay there this summer with a flight cancellation. Long story there, but I changed to a different hotel. But I think it's
Right.
decent.
Cool. All right. So looking at the Hyatt Place, New York City, Times Square, we do have a review on that. So Rudy Maxa, who does some reviews for us who stay there, and it's our most viewed review on our entire YouTube channel, which I thought was kind of cool. And he's walking around in the lobby filming random people and stuff. It's really, really awesome. Yeah, as you can see, 17,000 points a night. It's the category 5, but as you can see underneath, $128. So I do believe that that hotel should go down a couple of categories for sure. Then we got the Herald Square Hyatt, which is I would say it's a decent property. I had a good stay there. It's a narrow building, very tall, and I think, isn't that the one I'm thinking about? Yeah,
I think there might be. Oh, is it? Never mind. Okay.
yeah, I think it's. There's also another one.
Oh,
The
the Grand Central. You just passed it.
No, no, no. I'm not talking about that.
Oh,
There is another. Yeah, no. This it is the Herald Square one. We have a review from the Herald Square that I made. I just don't remember it looking like that little couch there wasn't in my room for sure. We have a review on that. Then you have the Hyatt Grand Central New York, and for those who remember that, that's the probably the worst Hyatt in the whole world.
are you sure? What about the Palm Springs Hyatt? Sorry to go off on a little tangent there.
So the last time I stayed at the Hyatt Grand Central, it was called the Grand Hyatt New York, which is
Yeah.
your buddy Donald Trump who built that hotel back in the days before he had to sell it because he couldn't pay for it. And so it was the last time I stayed there, we had a big event at that hotel. And a bunch of flyer talkers actually were there. We had a launch party. And the room I was in, I got there, it's late at night after a long full day, and there was like mold all over the ceiling. So that
Okay.
the paint was coming off and it was green mold up there. And
That's
it had
nice.
dripped down on the bed and on the floor, and nobody cared, right? So no, it's gross. It's crap. The lounge was crap, and they flagged it away from being a. I thought that they were thrown out of Hyatt for good, but I guess they're still there.
The
A
location's
terrible
good,
place.
but I mean,
So Dream Hotel Midtown, we have a review from Jamie. It actually didn't look so bad, but it's getting a 3.5. As you can see, it's a category 6, which sounds a little bit strange since it's $176 a night. And it's the next one is the Chatwell, which I find kind of interesting and funny because it used to be a Starwood preferred guest hotel back in the days. They
oh,
opened in 2010, 11. They only have 79 rooms there or something like that.
wow.
And they have these really cool balcony rooms, and they've got a room with a library in it and stuff. Wonder if they have. So it's so weird for me to see it on a Hyatt website, right?
Yeah.
Um, See if I can find any of those cool rooms that they had. I remember being upgraded to a nice room in there. Doesn't look like they have any photos of it.
Go to view rates and you can look at the room types.
Oh, there we go. Wow, it's a terrible picture, but you can see that they have a balcony outside, like a patio area. We're not going to go into the details here, but it's a category 8. I feel like it's usually about $400 to $600. I don't feel like it should be an 8. I think it should be a 7. All right. There is a Hyatt Place in the Guildhall. A lot of people talk good things about that, don't they?
Yeah, and that was one of the last category 4s, I believe.
Yeah, which it went up last year.
Yeah.
And so there you have it. The Time, New York. That must be a new hotel. Haven't heard of that. Also a 3.5 out of 5.
Thanks. Not great.
Yeah, a JDV hotel, $176. As you can see, this is a good time of year to go if you want to go to New York. The Hyatt Union Square, It's a funky hotel. Rooms are tiny. Not definitely not a category six for sure. It's got $215 a night here. I think I paid less than 200 last time I stayed there, like a couple of years ago. Then you've got the Park South Hotel. That must be a new one. Have you heard of that one?
No. Yeah, no, we're.
So wait a minute. The Hyatt Centric Wall Street, is that what used to be? Oh, it's the old Andaz.
Yeah, it's the old Andaz, yeah.
Is it Andaz or Andaz?
I don't know why. I was going to say Aindaz, but then I'm like, I've
Yeah,
always
I
said it
think it's
Andaz.
Andaz.
Yeah.
The Hyatts, they had that big flooding that was there. The whole hotel flooded.
Uh-huh.
When it opened, it was great value and very quiet down there. It's kind of a pain in the ass to go down there, but the rates they had were really good. I had the Presidential a couple of times at that place. Don't
Wow.
have a review on it though because I haven't stayed in a while. When it wasn't on us, and then we've got the Beekman. What's the story about that place?
I believe. Let me see where that's at. There's a lot of Thompsons in Manhattan.
Yeah, two of them. Just the one on Central Park and this one, right?
And Guild Hall.
Is that a Thompson? I thought that was something else.
No, it's a Thompson.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, Beekman's a location's mediocre. It's kind of close to downtown, so
Uh, okay, let's see where it is. The really? Yeah, it is downtown, super downtown. Then you've got the, wait a minute, what happened here? We've got the Hyatt Regency on the Hudson, the category four, and it stays a category four, right?
correct.
Yeah, so that's the only kind of full service hotel that's a four. It's easy to get to from New York. I'm not sure what happened here, but we Hyatt Regencies. So here, it's interesting that we see. Yeah, you got some of the Mrs. and Mrs. Switch. We're gonna skip those for sure altogether. I think that something happened in the search here because we're not seeing all of the stuff. But anyways, well, let's go down to the ones who are opening up soon, which is the Hyatt Regency Times Square, which is a brand new hotel. Not sure when that's opening, but that should be interesting. There is the Standard Highline. What is this stuff?
Oh, standard hotels. These are new hotels that Hyatt acquired in the past few months. So these ones you can book through their website, but you don't get any
You
Hyatt.
don't get any points or benefits. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Going over to IHG, and here's an interesting redemption right off the bat. That it's 32,000 points for the Intercontinental Times Square. I've stayed at the hotel a couple of times. They have these really cool corner rooms. It's kind of like a round edge in it. I was ambassador when I stayed there. I'm digging it. It was good. 32,000 IHG points is definitely worth it. Then you've got the Kimpton in Times Square, 28,000. The Manhattan at Times Square, never heard of that one. The Holiday Inn, 19K. Where we're looking for the other IHG. So here you go. There's another Voco,
Oh yeah.
19,000 points. This is crazy. But as you can see, excludes $29 amenity fee and 28.69 amenity fee and blah, blah, blah. Even
Evens is a,
hotel.
oh yeah, that's the one I mentioned earlier. This one has like there might be some photos of it, but in the room they have like a little setup thing where you can like climb on these bar. At least at the ones I stayed at in Nebraska.
There it is. The Barclay, 30,000 points. Wow, that's cool. That's a nice hotel. I like it there.
Oh yeah.
Haven't stayed a long time, but they have a nice brunch on Sunday. Of course, you have to pay for that, but it's a nice place when you a little classy gig going on Sundays there or on the weekends. So good location. It is 48th Street and kind of off of Lexington Avenue. Nice hotel for sure. I definitely learned that these prices are crazy good. This is for the cost of buying 30,000 IHG points. How much does it cost to purchase the
150 on a sale.
I think it was less than that. I think it's not less
Half a
than that.
cent each.
I don't remember. It's definitely worth it for sure for this. Um, but as you can see, it's kind of the value is definitely here. We can't see how much they are, but there's a lot of bad hotels, right? And so there aren't that many hotels in the city, as you can see. There is a couple of downtown Indigos, which is kind of a more of a boutique style. Is that what we want to call them?
Probably, yeah.
And then we're outside of the city. So New York is, as we can see here, the dates compared to we looked in Paris and we looked at London. In London, we're seeing that the cost in New York is consistently much lower right now than we see in Europe, and there's tons of good redemptions if you don't go at the highest season. And the highest seasons is like right before Christmas. It's pretty expensive. New Year's and stuff is pretty expensive. Over the summer, when Europeans come over, it's pretty expensive as well. And the best time to go to New York, excuse me, would be probably May, early June to
Yeah,
like
before school gets out. For
yeah, and then also September is a great month to be there. But it seems like there's a lot of value in the greatest city in the world.
Especially if you have Hyatt status. Hyatt status is particularly useful if you're using points. You get breakfast waived. You even get parking waived if you are driving a car. I hope you're not, but if you do,
If you're globalist, yeah.
yeah,
Not a lot of people drive a car into New York now.
not a good idea.
Actually, you do, even if you live outside of New York City, you'll take public transportation to get in there. But yeah, like you said, so Hyatt waives for everybody the resort fees that you see here. But they also do when you stay on miles on points with Hilton as well. They also get the resort fees waived as well. So Hyatt and Hilton is the same. Of course, if you're globalist with Hyatt, then the pathetic breakfast benefits, which is non-existent anymore. They do a food and beverage credit, as people know. So Hyatt is the winner there. But the conclusion about New York, lots of good stuff, lots of good properties. And if I were to pick my favorites for what I was looking at here, for Hilton, I like the one that's the Hilton Midtown. I think that's a good property. The Conrad is kind of downtownish, so it's not for me, I would say. When it comes to Marriott, the St. Regis, if you want to splurge, that's a good value for sure. It's definitely better value than the Park Hyatt. Absolutely. Even if you have to pay for the resort fee or the destination fee that Marriott scams you for when you stay in big cities or at resorts. And so that's obviously a favor. The Chatwall is not a Marriott anymore. It's now a Hyatt. But we also saw the Ritz-Carlton and a couple of Ritz-Carltons there. And there's some good stuff and run-of-the-mill stuff. Dozens of hotels, like over 50. Yeah. Lots of hotels for sure. And for IHG, boy, the Intercontinental de Barclay is at 30,000 points a night. That's a steal for sure.
Great.
So that's us taking a peek at New York City, and I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, comment your favorites in the comments below.
Yeah, do that. Thanks everybody for watching, and next week we're going to be talking about Stockholm, Sweden.
Yep, we are.
Which we're going to travel to in a couple of weeks.
Yep, indeed.
Should be good. Thanks everybody for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.